बहैसियत एक हिंदुस्तानी मैं तमाम पाकिस्तानी नाजरीन का तहे दिल से शुक्रिया अदा करती हूँ जो इस आजमाइश के दौर में कोविड की वबा के चलते हमारे साथ हैं और उन्होंने इजहार यकजहती किया है। इस बात को हम याद रखेंगे। आप भी हमारी दुआओं में शामिल हैं। हमारे बाबा गुरु नानक देव जी, जिनके ख्यालात कबीर से बहुत मिलते जुलते थे, वो कह गए हैं, नानक दुखिया सब संसार। We're all united in the shared nature of suffering.
Hello, salam, namaste, sat sri akal. My name is Gurmehar Kaur. I'm a Delhi girl, originally from Delhi, India, now based in the US. I find myself in this gorgeous spot today, out for a walk here in the US, full of gratitude, immersed in gratitude for all the gifts that America bears. Thank you, America. But every day, every passing day, consciously or subconsciously, at another level that is, consciously or subconsciously, I'm aware of the COVID pandemic that is raging in my motherland, India. And I am in fact reminded at this point of an extract from Arundhati Roy's magical first novel, The God of Small Things, where she talks about an Indian woman in America, a Desi in Pardes like myself, quite like myself and quite like many of you, I would imagine. A Desi in Pardes, described by Arundhati Roy, her predicament and how she feels this sort of survivor's guilt being here in the US, surviving, while her people are being ravaged in India. Gee, let me now read out an extract from Arundhati Roy's first novel, The God of Small Things, where she describes one version of survivor's guilt experienced by a Desi woman in America. She writes, and I quote, "But when they made love, he was offended by her eyes. They behaved as though they belonged to someone else, someone watching, looking out of the window at the sea, at a boat in the river, or a passerby in the mist in a hat. He was exasperated because he didn't know what that look meant. He put it somewhere between indifference and despair. He didn't know that in some places, like the country that Rahel came from, various kinds of despair competed for primacy. And that personal despair could never be desperate enough. That something happened when personal turmoil dropped by at the wayside shrine of the vast, violent, circling, driving, ridiculous, insane, unfeasible public turmoil of a nation like India. That big God howled like a hot wind and demanded obedience. Then small God, cozy and contained, private and limited, came away, laughing numbly at his own temerity. Strangely comforted by the confirmation of his own inconsequence, he became resilient and truly indifferent. Nothing mattered much. Nothing much mattered. And the less it mattered, the less it mattered. It was never important enough, because worse things had happened. In the country that she came from, poised forever between the terror of war and the horror of peace, worse things kept happening. So small God laughed a hollow laugh and skipped away cheerfully, like a rich boy in shorts. He whistled, kicked stones. The source of his brittle elation was the relative smallness of his misfortune. He climbed into people's eyes and became an exasperating expression.